Hi everybody, Natasha Wilkinson here, independent Scentsy consultant from Mount Isa, Australia. Now it's the weekend here, so if you can hear kids in the background yelling, I do apologise. But we're about halfway through the month here, and my Scentsy empty tub is full. So it's time to delve into what I have been using for the first 2 months, for the first 2 weeks of November. So I'm going to, rather than start off with non-Scentsy empties, I'm going to start off with my warming review of the scents of the season first, because that is a collection that will be coming out sometime this month. It has been delayed. They haven't given us a new date when it's coming out yet. But as a consultant, we were able to pick up 2 bundles of the scents of the season. So the scents of the season came in this cute little box, and you got your bars, as you can see. So as I said, as a consultant, we were able to pick up 2 bundles before they are released, to try them out, to sample them out and do what we wanted with them, to basically promote them. So what I've done with my first box is I've taken 2 cubes from each of them to make samples. Now for me, 2 cubes makes a bunch load of felt samples, enough to cover my current customer base. I'm not going to sample and make a whole heap of samples that, as much as I'd love to, I'm not going to waste time making samples if I can't give them to people. So I only make enough samples to cover who I am able to give them to, and then if I need to make more samples, I will make them as I need them. But I'm not going to waste money. I'm not going to waste time on making samples that are going to sit at home and do nothing, because that's just not productive. When I make samples, I want my customers, I want people to experience them, I want people to enjoy them. So what I then do with the rest is then I generally then warm it to provide a warming review. So I'm just in the wrong area here. This is just my normal bars. I just need to pull up my workstation, so I won't be a moment to give you what the scent notes are of the actual scents of the season. So, as I said, we will talk about the scents of the season first, because they are not finished. I've made samples with 2 cubes, and then I've started to warm through them. I've just got to find the scents of the season bars in here. There we go. So let's talk about 2 returning scents of the season. So 2 from the scents of the season are returning scents. They were in last year's scents of the season scents that we were able to get. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Blue Christmas. I used up 2 of the cubes to provide samples with, but I have warmed through previously 4 bars of this. I have previously had Blue Christmas in my Scentsy Club. So Blue Christmas is Scentsy Holiday Bar fragrance of orange peels, clove, fresh pine and cinnamon stick. So this to me is my absolute favorite Christmas tree scent. And it is a Christmas tree scent. It is quite heavy in that fir needle and pine. And then you get that biting cinnamon in the background with just a little touch of orange. You can't really smell that orange peel. It's more Christmas tree and Christmas spice. It is absolutely beautiful. Comes across a little perfumey when warming with that cinnamon in it. Almost incensey like, and very dark and very woodsy. As I said, it is my favorite Christmas scent. To me, it smells like an authentic Christmas tree on Christmas morning when you're in the kitchen baking your Christmas ham, adding those spices, or making your eggnog or baking your Christmas pudding, adding those spices. So you've got those spices simmering on the stovetop in the background, and the smell of that wham bam Christmas tree in your face. As I said, I did put it in my Scentsy Club when it came out as the Scents of the Seasons last year. And then they came into the clearance section for like $5 each. So I took it out of my Christmas Scentsy Club and basically brought up big. I currently have a bunch of this particular scent. When it comes back, may go back into my Scentsy Club, because if I were to ever want a Christmas tree scent and was only being told that I could only ever choose one Christmas tree scent for the household, it would be Blue Christmas. Blue Christmas would be the Christmas tree scent that I would choose to warm forever if I was told I could only ever have one Christmas tree scent. So that was Blue Christmas. The other scent of the season that is returning from last year is Gingerbread Hugs, and that is fresh baked gingerbread with notes of vanilla and nutmeg, wrap you up in the warmest, sweetest embrace. So again, I did 2 cubes of samples, but I have warmed through a full bar of this. So this was another one I did pop into my Scentsy Club, but I did end up taking it out only because I'm the only one in the household that likes it. It is quite heavy on that gingerbread note. Something that I typically would probably only warm in the cooler weather. That nutmeg and that vanilla is in the background, but the gingerbread is more predominant. My kids didn't like this one because I think it was a little bit too gingerbread heavy. But this one would also be a really good mixer if you were wanting to sweeten it up. Add a little bit of vanilla bean buttercream. That's what I think I'm going to try, because I do have a bunch of these too. I think I've got about, not as many as Blue Christmas, but I do have a few of this particular scent. I just don't warm it much because the rest of my household don't like it. It's my scent, not the rest of my household's scent. But I think if I mixed it with something a little bit sweeter, made it a little bit more cakey, they might really enjoy it. So that was the second one that was in the Scents of the Seasons collection. Now let's talk about this completely empty bar. I did 2 cubes of this for samples, and I warmed the rest of it in my bedroom. So that is Peace and Joy. And Peace and Joy is soft jasmine blossom and vanilla, cradled by calming cashmere wood. To me, this is a very much a younger version of Cozy Cardigan. It's soft, it's perfumey, it's romantic, it's comforting. It is beautiful. It's not as musky as Cozy Cardigan. It does have a little bit more of a sweetness because I think it's using jasmine in this, whereas Cozy Cardigan has rose in it. So it doesn't have that powdery muskiness in it. So you've got that calming, soft cashmere feel mixed with more of a sweeter floral. And it is absolutely gorgeous. This is going into my Scentsy Club when it does eventually get released. This was by far my favorite one, probably out of the whole Scents of the Season collection. I will say though, as beautiful as it is, I don't think it would perform very well in an open concept area. This was quite light for me to the nose. Performed beautifully in my bedroom, so more for a smaller concept area. But it's something that could be warmed all year round. To me, it didn't scream Christmas. It just screamed comforting, soft, romantic bedroom scent. Loved it. So, the next one from the Scents of this season was Berry and Currant. I only did 1 cube of samples for this. So this was a wreath of peppery bayberry and fresh juniper adorned with bright currant. So the first thing you smell on this is a very clean, fresh laundry scent. Slightly sweet. And I think that's the juniper coming through, because juniper is a sweeter tree. So I think predominantly smelling the juniper. When it was warming, as I was making the samples, that currant did come through a little bit more. It did add a little bit of a bitterness to it. But other than that, this was very soapy, clean, fresh scent. I enjoyed it. Wasn't my favorite. I will warm through the rest of this bar and the other bar I have, but it won't go into my Scentsy Club. So the last one that I'm going to talk about is Spiced Apple and Chestnut. That's from the Scents of the Season, not the last of my empties. And I did 2 cubes for samples, and this is New Spiced Apple Chestnut Scentsy Bar. Apple and maple wood simmer in a festive spiced rum. So on cold, you really smelt the boozy rum note in here. Warming, that maple and the sweetness of the apple really shone through. On cold, I was not a fan of this. Warming, I like this. It could possibly be a Scentsy Club contender, but as I said, I only warmed it enough to make the samples, so I'm going to have to go through the full bar, do the full warming cycle, just to see whether it will be Scentsy Club worthy or not. But based on the sample making, I enjoyed this a lot more than I did on cold. So they were the Scents of the Season. Now let's delve into what else I have been warming and using and enjoying. So now I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to go back to non-Scentsy empties. So we finished up the dish soap in Hibiscus Water. Hibiscus Water is one of my favorite scents. As a Scentsy bar, it is in my Scentsy Club. It's basically this combination of a tropical, aquatic, fruity, florally scent. More aquatic than anything, but then it's got the sweetness from that fruit and from the florals. So Hibiscus Water is described as apple and hibiscus frolic in a mellow mineral water spring. So that mellow mineral water spring, smelling very tropical from that apple and the hibiscus blossom. As I said, it's a very tropical, aquatic, fruity, floral scent. Quite light, but really beautiful for summer. So I finished up the Scentsy Clean Laundry Liquid. We talked about me finishing up the washer whiffs in my last warming. So this was the accompanying laundry liquid. This was in the clearance section. This is no longer available. It's basically a clean, crisp linen laundry scent. Made the clothes smell really clean and crisp. Probably one of the strongest smelling scents for laundry, but I prefer something a little bit sweeter personally. So I used up a bathroom cleaner in Cloudberry Dreams. This was new to the catalogue here, and we got it in all the things here. It's a raspberry, a peach, and a rose, and it's beautiful. You get that bright, tart burst of raspberry with the sweetness of the rose in the background. Love this scent. I'm probably going a bit hog wild with this scent since it's come here to Australia, particularly in cleaning products, because it's not a citrus scent for cleaning. The next one I am going to talk about is Bright Side of Life hand soap. This was from our Harvest collection. So this is a scent I wish we did have here in Australia in wax bars. It is spiced harvest cider, pumpkin and red apple. So it's just a beautiful, sweet, syrupy combination of pumpkin, apple and cider. The cider isn't too heavy, coming across a little bit sweet, a little bit syrupy, but I really did enjoy it. So we have a 20-watt globe. My Anzac warmer blew its globe, so I replaced it with another 20-watt globe. I put a blue globe in that Christmas tree warmer up there, so that's where that blue globe went. So completely used up this sad looking fragrance flower, the oils used. So I think this was Iridescent Pearl. So this was the one that was in the bathroom, and I think I had Iridescent Pearl in the fragrance flower going. This was in the bathroom for a good 2 to 3 months, so it's finally used its lifespan up. So they are the non-wax products. Let's talk pods. So I've taken out the Cloudberry Dreams from the air purifier, which, as I said, is a bright raspberry, peach and rose. Very strong performer. Lasted a good 2-3 weeks in my air purifier. Really enjoyed it. And I replaced it with Very Merry Cranberry, because coming into the end of November, Halloween was over, so I'm starting to get into the Christmas mood and break out those Christmassy scents. So they were the pods that I used up. So now we have the rest of the wax to talk about. So let's talk about open concept areas. So the last 2 days we've gone from really hot weather. We had a bit of a rain, so I wouldn't say we've gone into a cold snap, but it has significantly cooled down here in the last 2 days. So I decided to break out some more wintry scents, and I was starting to get into a little bit of a Christmassy mood. So I decided to finish up the bar of Sweet Orange Panda and do a combination of that in the open concept area with Warsaw Wonderland. So this was from last year's scent of the season. As you can see, a little bit gooey. So Sweet Orange Panda is our current home for the holiday collection. So it is now available on the website. This was from the consultant pack before it was available from the website. I did samples with a few of the cubes and still had part of a bar left, so I finished up that bar, but it is described as sparkling clove and cinnamon stick adorns sweet orange in a dazzling display. So this is very spice heavy. You get a little bit of a orange in the background. It comes off to me kind of like a Jaffa type smelling orange, but when it's warming, the spice totally overtakes it, and all you can smell is cinnamon, clove, and spice. I loved it. The rest of the family, not so much. They thought it was too spice heavy. It's not going into my Scentsy Club though. As much as I did enjoy it, there are other spice scents I do enjoy more, but I wanted more of the orange to come through, which is why I chose to warm it with Warsaw Wonderland. So, Warsaw Wonderland is basically the same as your Blue Christmas, except it is more heavy in the orange. It is very orange forward. So you've got your fir needles, you've got your pine, you've got your cinnamon, you've got your clove, and you've got orange in it. But it is very orange forward. It is very citrusy. For someone that's not a citrus fan, I fell in love with this scent. It was in my Scentsy Club for a while. I then found it in the clearance section for $5 each. So it was cheaper to buy a bunch from the clearance section than keep it in Scentsy Club. So I still have about 4 or 5 left of Warsaw Wonderland because it's one I also enjoy to warm in winter. So I wanted to bring out more of the orange in Sweet Panda, which is why I warmed this, because it had the cinnamon and spice notes, but it was more heavy orange, and you can smell more of the heavy orange. So I stuck it together. It was nice, but for something that is normally a strong performer then overtakes an open concept area with Warsaw Wonderland, which is what it normally does, Sweet Orange Panda was still stronger. It still drowned a fair bit of this out. So Warsaw Wonderland ended up to me humming in the background more than melding with this. And the Sweet Orange Panda ended up overtaking more of it. So I think this combination would work well, but I think I would need to do double the cubes to what I did with Sweet Orange Panda, rather than do 1 equal cube to 1 equal cube in alternating warmers. I think I would have to do 2 cubes to Warsaw Wonderland to 1 cube of Sweet Orange Panda, so that heavy spice doesn't drown this out, which is quite surprising, as I said, because Warsaw Wonderland in itself is normally a very strong performer. So, also in the open concept area, because we're talking about Christmas scents, because I'm in the mood for Christmas scents, but I'm not in the mood for going straight into just straight tree. We're still in hot weather, so I wanted something Christmassy, but that would still meld well with hot weather. I decided to do in the lounge room area 2 bars of red berry and spruce, and then in the kitchen area, which comes off the lounge room, I decided to finish off pink poinsettia, which was our home from the holidays collection. So red berry and spruce was last year's home from the holidays collection, and it is described as if I can find it in my list of scents here. Sorry, my laptop's decided, my iPad is not wanting to play a game today. A merry mix of cranberry, raspberry swirled with a sprig of blue spruce. So it's a sweeter tree spruce, which is why I decided to choose this, so I'm not going too heavy into Christmas. And then the mix of the berries, so you still kind of had like a summery vibe going with just a sweet Christmas tree. And then I mixed it with, as I said, in the kitchen, pink pancetta, which was another berry. It had cranberry in it. It had other winter berries in it from memory. So this was very light, so in the clamshell it's very pretty, but it's very light. And Karen Rosa, when she was warming it, she described it as kind of like a red cordial. That wasn't enough cordial in it, and I get where she was going, because the red berry and spruce, even though it's not the strongest scent, drowned out the pink pancetta. And for me to smell the pink pancetta, I had to put my head over it. And when I put my head over it to smell it, that's all I could smell was Karen Rose's description of a not strong red cordial. So definitely wasn't my favorite on warming. As pretty as it is on warming, was not my favorite on warming, so it would not be a repurchase for me. I still have one more bar which I'll use up, but it will not be going into my Scentsy club. So bedroom. I did in the main concept area. As I said, I was in a very Christmassy mood, and for me, usually the month of November, I start to transition into Christmas scents without going full Christmas scents, and one of my transitions is using minty scents. So Lisa Roseberry recommended a combination of Olaf Warm Hugs and Arctic Kiss. Normally I do Arctic Kiss and Silver Bells. That's normally my favorite mix with Arctic Kiss, but I wanted to try out Lisa Roseberry's mix and see what it was like. So Arctic Kiss is cool Arctic mint and fresh air embrace the warmth of fluffy vanilla clouds. And Olaf Warm Hugs is, he just wants to be loved and also have fun, and this surge of cool mint and adventure snow-covered woods. Both of them are beautiful on their own. Arctic Kiss has a sweetness to it. It does have melon in it, which kind of adds that fruity sweetness vibe, but it's very cooling and it's very fresh. The Olaf Warm Hugs is like a sweet buttermint, quite minty. So putting them together, it helped bring out the mint in this. But I will say, I think I did it, I could get what Lisa Roseberry was talking about. It was beautiful, but I just think I did it in the wrong room, because Olaf Warm Hugs isn't the strongest performer. Works beautifully in my smaller rooms, but in an open concept area, it got a little bit lost, and I found Arctic Kiss overtook it a bit because Arctic Kiss does work well in my open concept area, whereas Olaf Warm Hugs didn't. So I will try this combination again because I could see where it was going. I could get that vibe and I could smell that it was going to be good. It's just that Olaf Warm Hugs got a little bit lost in an open concept area. So I'm going to try it again in a smaller room so I can still smell Olaf Warm Hugs next time. So I do believe that's what I did in, no, I did one more combination in the open concept area, although it wasn't a combination. So I had going, this was March's scent of the month from last year, and it is Honeysuckle Pear. This is absolutely a beautiful scent, but you do need to love sweet, you do need to love floral. So I had 2 bars of Honeysuckle Pear going in the open concept area because it is a summery scent. Elegant pear blossoms wrapped up delicately in climbing honeysuckle. So the combination of that honeysuckle, which is a sweet flower, and pear, which is also sweet, absolutely stunning. But it is very sweet and it is very floral. It is quite strong. I tend to sometimes mix this with Beach Daisy to cut down on the sweetness, but I was just in the mood for sweet and floral and syrupy because it kind of comes across as very syrupy, being so sweet as well. But if you love sweet, if you love floral, Honeysuckle Pear is brilliant. It's not available anymore. I did have it for the longest time in my Scentsy club, but because of how sweet it is, I was building up a bit of a stash, and I had 12 months worth of stash. I was only getting one every 3 months, and I think I got up to like 4 or 5, which showed I hadn't warmed it in 12 months, so I took it out. As much as I love it, I do need to be in the mood to warm this particular scent. So that was the open concept area. Let's talk about my bedroom, the main bedroom. And we're going to talk about vanilla oud. So I warmed through a bar of that. And so this is basically an earthy, woodsy scent. You get that woodsy oud, but it's also sweet at the same time. That vanilla and that oud wood, which also comes across a little bit sweet but earthy, kind of gives it this warm, comforting, romantic tone. This was from a Bring Back My Bar. Pardon. I got some wax down the wrong way when my nose, which made me cough when I was smelling this then. I love this. This is in my Scentsy club, and I'm surprised at how much I love this. To me, it's like a darker, deeper version of Pacific Sandalwood. If I can find the description in here for you. Sweet vanilla grounded by leather and earthy oud wood. So I don't smell leather in this. I just smell that earthy wood note with a beautiful vanilla, a little bit of a perfumey sweetness. I love it. So that was going in the main bedroom. And then I had going in the main bedroom because, as I said, I was in the Christmas mood. This one was a little bit gooey, as you can see. Snow Crisp Cranberry. This was from last year's Home from the Holiday collection. It's in my Scentsy club, and it will probably forever stay in my Scentsy club because, again, it's one of those Christmas tree scents that doesn't scream full-on Christmas tree. It has that cranberry in it, which makes it really pretty for summer. It is on the softer side, which is why I had it going in my bedroom as compared to the main room. So if I can find the description for you. Frozen pink cranberries trek through a path of fresh fallen powder among white balsam and glistening sugared woods. So again, balsam is a sweeter tree. So I find pine to be more heavy, pine and fir trees to be more heavy, whereas I find spruce and balsam to have a little bit more of a sweetness about it. So it's just this beautiful combination of a tart cranberry with a sweet tree, making this very sweet tree scent. So the next one that is in my main room I warmed was Love Story. And this is jasmine, dark chocolate, and amber. You don't smell the dark chocolate in this. I think it just adds this softness and it adds this depth and warmth. It doesn't smell chocolate. You get that sweetness from the jasmine and you get that comforting warmth from the amber. It is absolutely beautiful. So that's what I warmed in my main bedroom. In the boys' room, I broke open some of I've gone through 3 cubes of Mandarin and Mango Nectar. This was from our Paradise collection and it's been sitting in my drawer. I've been holding off warming in it because to me, it doesn't smell like mangoes. I have a full-grown mango tree outside my house and I love the smell of mangoes, but I've yet to find a mango scent that I really love. And I think it's that mandarin that I've come to think that's off-putting in it because there is a sour note in this. When I warmed it, it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be in the boys' room. That sour note turned more citrusy. So it is the mandarin that I don't like with the mango. I think without the mandarin, I might have liked this a little bit more. So I think that sour note that I keep talking about and picking up is actually a tart citrus from the mandarin that I am picking up. In Piper's room, my daughter's room, this was a scent of the month, Apple Blossom Breeze. Is it June or July? Something like that. When I got this, I thought I would absolutely love this. I warmed one in my room, could not smell anything. It was light. It has jasmine in it, which is why I thought I would love it. It has apple blossom in it. So I left them to cure. I've still got most of that scent of the month kit because it was a month that came where we didn't get the seals. They were running short on those seals that help with shipping, so they came a little bit gooey, so I wasn't able to put them into my scent of the month club for the customers that have my scent of the month. And I warmed it again, as I said, in my daughter's room. It was still very light after curing. I could smell it a little bit better, but it came across like a soapy hotel resort. I could smell a little bit of a pear in it, a little bit of a pear, but I didn't get the other scent notes, that jasmine, that beautiful sweet floral. I didn't get them. So definitely did not go into my Scentsy club. Will not be a repurchase for me. I still have about 4 of them because I got a 6-pack in the Scent of the Month club and then I got 1 in that month's Swift box. So I think I've now got, because I did do samples with some, 1 bar. I have warmed 1 bar and then this is the 2nd bar I've warmed. So I think I've still got 4 of these to get through. So I have 3 oils that I have been diffusing amongst my things, and then we'll be just about done because I have kids at the door clamoring to get back in. So in the bedroom, I did Vervete and Sandalwood. I think I did this when I was doing Vanilla Oud. So Vervete and Sandalwood is earthy, it's deep, and it's woodsy, maybe a little bit incensey. So that worked really well with the Vanilla Oud. I've been diffusing under the mistletoe. This is from our holiday collection with my Christmas tree scents. So this is basically a sweet Christmas tree. You get a very sweet Christmassy scent. And the last scent I have been diffusing has been berry, vanilla and coconut. I will say on cold, I'm not a fan of this one, but when it was diffusing, I did enjoy it more. To me, this comes across cough syrupy on cold, but when it's diffusing, comes across a little bit sweeter and less cough syrupy. So that is what I have been warming, diffusing and using Scentsy products wise in the last 2 weeks. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are all doing safe and well. And I'm going to sign off now because I have kids clamoring to get inside. So until the next video, stay safe and bye for now.